there's some stories in here, like when Milarepa first met Marpa, the great translator, he offered him a copper bowl, which was empty. And he's like, well, the karma of offering him a shiny, nice, clean copper bowl is good, but you didn't give him anything in it, you cheap. Well, when I first met Ken Rinpoche, it's like a rainy day. I'm very mentally afflicted. I don't know why. I think I was scared of him, this Buddhist teacher. So I didn't go up to meet him. It's a very strange karma. I sat downstairs, and I had his handlers bring him up a dorje, which is a Buddhist ritual object. Very old dorje. I paid $50 for it with a bell, with a big something from Nepal or some like giant bell and dorje. Very tacky. And but no, the dorje was Tibetan and very old, antique. So it's like I didn't really even want to let him know that I really wanted to meet with him. I just was like, well, could he check to see whether it was Tibetan? I bought these. Like I tried to make it seem like I was trying to use Ken Rinpoche as an antique dealer. You know, like, can you tell me whether it was actually Tibetan or not? So then the lady comes down and she's like, well, Rinpoche says the dorje is Tibetan, but the bell is Nepalese. And I just was overwhelmed. Now, mind you, I had no money at the time. And I paid like $70 for that stuff. And $70 in my, back in '93 in Jersey was very serious money for me. And so I took the bell and offered it the dorje. I don't know the karma of that, but it's very proper to give a holy object to a teacher. But I really didn't want to give it. I was like, well, I paid a lot of money for that stuff. When I met Geshe-la, I called, when I go up to see Rinpoche, they gave me a card of Geshe-la's number in Manhattan if you want to take formal classes. So I called him and called him and called him. Never got back to him. Then I got a hold of him. And he's like, oh yeah, can I call you back in a second? And then just blew me off. And I got so angry that I remember writing a manifesto, like a hate letter. And I remember having it in the back pocket. And I was about to give it to him. Like I went down the temple to give it to him, and then he was there. I'm like, I don't know what to do with it. And I think he gave me this book. Yeah, he gave me this book that day. He gave me this book. And he told Ani Kama, a nun, that he had a new fish. That was me. His new fish. Call it fish. I think the Jesus influence. Fisher of men. But it's very important to start off a proper relationship with a teacher. And I have not done so. And I've suffered. But it's very, the text starts out with an exhortation to start off with a proper relationship with a teacher. Basically, just do everything they say. That's all. It's a tough one. But the best thing you can offer a teacher is, if you can take care of them. And number two would probably be doing your practice every day diligently and doing exactly what they tell you to do about your practice every day as best as you can. Rinpoche used to always say in teaching, you have to do like this, you have to do like that, you have to do like that, and then he'd say, as much as you can. Because he realized people are people and they're going to do the least amount of stuff that they absolutely have to squeak on by. I mean, that's me. I don't know about, maybe some people wanting that apple, or wanting that grade, that A, but when we have initiations, you agree to doing, say 21, japa, mala, counting, I agree to do 21. I think one of my first initiation, I was like, I agree to do 108. Well, it grows exponentially. If you don't do it, then you have to do 200 or whatever. By the next year, I was already had to be going back for confession for not even doing it. It's like, so I always tell people, agree to the least amount of stuff that you have to. The easiest recitation, the easiest meditations. Don't overstrain, because you're thinking long term. You want to keep this practice up. Most people have lives. This meditation that we're going to do after the talk could probably go on 3 hours, probably. And most people would not have the time in their day. I mean, some people may have scheduled it, but most people don't have. I mean, busy, like I come from New York, busy people with normal jobs and families would not have the time to be like, okay, I'm going to sit here and do this 3 hours or 4 hours of meditating. So absolutely have agreed to the least amount over a long period of time. I don't know what your experience is in spiritual practices, but that's what I found over 12 or 13 years of taking tantric initiation over and over again. One year I didn't go back to Rinpoche. You say, why did you disappear? I go, the backlog from the last year of me messing up, not doing my practice is just so much. It's like inconceivable. He goes, well, that's why you're supposed to come again. Renew your vows, loser. That was my adding in. He didn't call me loser. He's only made 2 references, sort of negatively. One was that I drank, where did you go and get more coffee? And 2 was, do you have a job? Once he said, do you have a job? When I mentioned that I had some money. Okay. How are we doing for time over there?
I'm gonna find out.
I forgot my watch.
7:35.
Okay.
I'll just keep this here. I can check it.
So the way this class is going to go, there'll be 40 minutes of, I don't know, 40 minutes of class, which is just about what we just did. There'll be a 10-minute break, and there'll be 40 minutes of meditation. And when I first studied this text, I never got any meditations. We're going to go over a meditation by the 4th Panchen Lama on this text, with some parts pulled out. Some parts have some tantric meditations that I don't know. But I think it's appropriate for us because we started a temple called Tashi, and Tashi is the seat of the Panchen Lama, and I think it's good karma. And he also happened to write some of the first Panchen Lama, Lobsang Nyima, he also happened to write some of the best commentaries on everything, almost everything. But the Panchen Lamas were some of the tutors of the Dalai Lamas. And they had a really beautiful relationship many years ago. And so it's going to be going to the 25th of September. And it's a rather extensive meditation. I'm going to try to build on it every week. Hopefully to the point where we'll go over it again and again to where it's like second nature. I don't know if any of you guys have other practices that you're doing, but it's a really beautiful meditation to do. Along with this teaching. And I never got that stuff. I remember when I first started hanging around the temple for a couple of years, I don't think, I went and sat at teachings, but I don't think, I think maybe a year and a half in, I was complaining one day at the temple. I'm like, boss, to get your Osho, boss, shouldn't I have a mala or a mantra or something to do? And then he just walked on by me and said, boss, and I see him again. Boss, shouldn't I have a mala or something? I mean, I'm just sitting here doing nothing, drinking tea all day, And then he walked by again, so he just couldn't take it, like the distraction. Like he's just like, He goes into his room and he goes into a secret drawer on his altar and brings me a little, I remember I prayed on that mala. I don't know, I think he did Om Mani Padme Hum for like weeks, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I don't know any visualizations or anything. And I think he knew that once I knew the proper visualizations that I probably blow them off anyway. But the purpose of doing meditations like this, I don't know how, if you guys are regular meditators or visualizers. Rinpoche used to say, you've got to learn mental gymnastics. When you do visualizations like visualizing 400 beings, the colors, the shapes, real. You start off with like one, just get the